This is the Amazon 2 Series television, and you're probably wondering, is it worth the money? Let's go and find out. The first thing we're going to do is unbox this TV. We want to see how easy it is to set up. We want to see how much space you have underneath the television in terms of the leg configuration. And here we have the 32-inch 2 Series television, which is coming with 720p. This is not going to be 1080p. However, remember, for 32 inches, 720p, if it's a very good quality 720p, will look the same as 1080p to your eyes. Now, there are some important differences, but let me talk about it once we open it. It's going to come with the features. A 32-inch television here is going to be 31.5 viewable display size. In terms of resolution, it is a 1366 by 768 resolution, which is not going to be the same as 4K. 4K is 3x that resolution. You also get HDR10 and HLG. Now, HDR is going to be directly related to how bright this panel is. So if it's not bright enough, HDR is not going to be that relevant. And it comes with dual band Wi-Fi with two 8-watt audio speakers, which is the same as the 4 series in terms of the audio output. It will come with two HDMI 1.4s and one HDMI 1.4R. It is not coming with the HDMI 2.1. So they're already seeing some of the cost savings just by the specifications on the box. But does that have a direct relationship to the picture quality? That is the real question. This is what you get inside the box for the 32-inch. You're going to be getting two legs. These feel like the legs, same legs as the Insignia. And that is everything inside. And this LED TV is very inexpensive to operate on an annual basis. It only costs about $8 estimated annual energy costs. And this is pretty much everything you get inside the box. You'll be receiving the television. You get your quick start guide. You get your screws for your legs. You get the updated Amazon Fire TV remote. Here is the quick start guide. This is the most important part, in my opinion, of the Quick Start Guide. If you're wondering what television is behind us, that is the Hisense U6 Fire TV. That is a 4K television, also very budget friendly, and exactly what I use in terms of my studio television setup. So this is the underbody of your LED television from Amazon. This 2 series is definitely going to be much thicker than an OLED, but it is extremely light. It's very simple to set up, just like your Insignias. You just pop in your legs. This is what the TV looks like with the legs set up. When you look at the back of this television, let me say that what jumps out at me right away is that this is no frills. This is really no frills. I think Amazon's strategy on the 2 series television is that they are releasing it at the 32 and the 40-inch. The 32 720 panel, the starting price, the initial price is $149.99. The 40-inch is going to be $199.99. And the 32-inch television, when it's on sale, I fully expect this to be about $99.99. Just like the 40-inch, we're thinking that it's going to be closer to $149.99. So I can see these TVs becoming more and more economical for Amazon because they're not so invested in making the largest margin in terms of their profit on per television, because once you're in the Fire ecosystem and they have you using a Fire TV, well, that's how you're going to be consuming a lot of their content, as well as you're going to get some ads that everyone complains about on the Fire. This is where your ports are. You have your optical for your sound bars, you have an Ethernet. In case you want to hardwire this, they understand you have a USB 2.0 cable antenna port. It has an HDMI 1, 2, 3 for ARC. It is not eARC. And this has an EIR emitter as well as a headphone jack. It's going to go through the same setup process as any other Fire Stick and any other Fire TV. It's going to ask you to set up your network. And once you finish setting up your network, it's going to automatically preload your settings in your existing Fire account. Or you can set it for yourself, and you're going to be ready to use it right out of the box. So another feature on this television is they included dual band Wi-Fi. So it's not going to be just on the 2.4 gigahertz spectrum, but also the 5 gigahertz spectrum. So as you move away from your Amazon 2 series, the picture is going to get better and better. But as you get closer and then you start comparing between the 720p 2 series and the 4K Hisense U6 or other 4K or other 1080p televisions, you will start noticing that the contrast, the brightness, as well as the color accuracy might be improved on a 4K panel. It really comes down to which television you're comparing it to. But for far away, the Amazon 2 series still looks very good. Now, let's look at some of the drawbacks of the Amazon 2 series in terms of a video comparison. So, in my opinion, the biggest weakness of the Amazon 2 series is the lack of HDMI 2.0 or 2.1. It comes with HDMI 1.4 as well as it comes with HDMI ARC. Now, I know the Insignia also comes with that, and I know that the Amazon 2 series is still coming with dual band, but the screen itself could be a little bit less reflective. It is very reflective in my opinion, and I think that the color processing could be more accurate and you don't need to have to fine tune it so much out of the box. But other than that, the motion is very good. I didn't notice any soap opera effect. I didn't notice any blurring. The haloing is not a tremendous issue in my opinion. The blooming is not a tremendous issue. So the only televisions that are competing at this price point are the ultra budget TVs. So now that we have the shades open, this is what the television looks like in the daytime. You do not want to have a light source directly facing this television if it's going to be black. It is not powerful enough to overcome that light source, and it's not going to have some type of anti-glare filter or material on the top of it to make it a little less glary. But overall resolution is still pretty good. It is really going to depend on the source material in my opinion. If you're getting 4K source material, it's going to look good on 720 1080p because it is getting downscaled. It's like taking a big picture and fitting it into a smaller hole. But if you have content that needs to be upscaled or is not going to be very clear from the get-go, well, this television is going to have a harder time upscaling that content because it doesn't necessarily really have any upscaling capabilities, at least not that I saw. And it's definitely not going to be similar to something like the Hisense U6 or other 4K panels because those are going to be better at upscaling the picture that you're getting. And I want my Tiger to look more orange, so it's going to be in my settings. So what I want to do is go into my settings. I'm going to go into my picture. And inside a picture, you have the ability to control a lot of different settings here. So if I go to standard, this is on standard, it makes it brighter. Movie bright is going to add more clarity. Movie dark is going to make it better for dark environments. Vivid is going to boost up the contrast as well as the color. Sport is going to make everything a little bit faster in terms of refresh rate, but not as clear. Natural is going to be just a little bit more natural. Nothing real. Speak about energy saving is going to be in an energy saving mode. Everything is basically shut off, so it doesn't use as much electricity. And we have custom. So I'm going to keep mine on custom. But in order to get it closer to that orange, what I can do here is that I can not only go to my brightness, so I can adjust my brightness, and I'll show you what I mean. But adjusting your brightness doesn't necessarily mean it's going to have a more poppy effect on the colors. So that's up to you. I have my contrast at 70, I have my brightness at 2, local contrast is off, Smart HDR is on, dynamic backlight is off. It's going to be up to you. In my personal opinion, I like my dynamic backlight on, but if you're going to use this in a bright room, you might want to keep it off. We're going to go to our color settings. So here you can adjust your saturation, and this just makes it more, the color pop a little bit more or not. But in my opinion, I still like to leave this around 50, which is the base, and then I start adjusting my color temperatures. So in color temperatures, I can make it cool, which is going to make it more blue, standard, which is more balanced, or warm, which should make it a little bit more orange, or yellow, or red. You have your 2-point calibration in case you want to adjust that. Here I have my red gain and I have my red bias. So you can adjust this to make it more red or less red in the 2-point. And in the 11-point calibration, you have your red offset that you can control. We have it on -1, green offset, and blue offset. So depending on which room you're placing your Amazon 2 series, a kitchen is going to have a different setup than a living room with a window facing directly on it. So if you're wondering if the Fire TV 2 series is going to be worth your money, well, it comes down to budget. I think budget is the clear-cut most important reason to try out the 2 series. If you can go with the 4 series, go with the 4 series. If you can get the Hisense U6, I would recommend getting the Hisense U6 over the 2 Series any day of the week. But if you want to save yourself some money and the television is really ultimately used for things like watching television, watching your favorite talk shows, watching YouTube videos, and consuming content that's not cinema, that doesn't require the best picture quality, well, then the 2 Series is going to deliver that. Because of the affordability of this TV, there were some trade-offs made, but in exchange for the affordability, you are still getting a audio that you can understand, color and picture that you can adjust. Well, I expect the Amazon 2 Series to become more and more affordable as Amazon produces more. If you're getting it right at launch, of course things are going to be the most expensive. But as time progresses, Amazon has basically taken a lot of the extras and remove them to give you the most affordable budget television they could provide. And along with that, if you look at the color quality and you look at the motion processing, it's not a bad trade. You know you're not going to get a 4K television. You know you're not going to get the best television ever made. You're not going to get an OLED, but you're going to get a television that if you are about 10 feet away from it, 5 feet away from it, it's still going to look good to your eyes. And that's basically what this television is supplying. It's just supplying an easy to use television with Fire Stick built in that is no frills, literally no frills. I have a few wishes that Amazon had added in terms of features, especially for HDMI 1.4. That is 5-year-old tech. I wish they put it on HDMI 2.0 or 2.1, but you don't really see that on other value budget televisions in this price range. If you're looking for a television 720 that this one is directly competing with, I like the Toshiba V35s. I think they're great quality. They also come with a glossy screen, which is going to give it a little bit more punch in terms of the color. And I do like the Insignia 32 inches as well, because even though that's going to be 720p outside the box, you don't need to do a lot of adjustments to get a great picture. While on the 2 Series, you do need to make the adjustments to adjust the picture quality so that it's going to be optimal and it's going to look better to your eyes. So make sure to hit that subscribe and like button because it really does help support our channel and allows us to make better content. So with that, thanks for watching everybody. This is David with The French Glue signing off. Bye, bye, bye.